This is the all-new Moza Racing R3 Bundle. It's arguably the most exciting product from Moza yet, and that's for two main reasons. One, it's the first ever Xbox-compatible Moza wheelbase, and two, its retail price of $400 for a 3.9mm direct drive wheelbase, a steering wheel, and a set of pedals. Sent over to me by Moza for review several months ago, I've been putting all of this gear to the test and am now ready to give you all my review, going over the good, the bad, and whether I think this bundle could or could not be for you. And I'll say it right now, I definitely don't think it's for everyone. Looking for great deals on sim racing hardware? Make sure to check out simspots.com, where all of the best deals on sim racing, PC, and gaming peripherals are posted daily. Literally, the site is completely free to use, free of ads, and just lets you know of discounted sim racing hardware for you to save some cash. Get into sim racing or upgrade your gear today at simspots.com. The Moza R3 Bundle comes with a table clamp, a 280mm steering wheel, and the SRP light pedals we've seen before. To keep everything organized, I'll begin by going over the pedals, followed by the steering wheel, and ending off with the star of the show, the R3 wheelbase itself. But keep in mind that if you are interested in purchasing this or any other Moza Racing or a sim racing product from many of the main sim racing companies in general, discount codes and my affiliate links can be found on my website and in the video description. These can help you save some money and always incredibly helps me out at zero extra cost to you, so a big thank you to all of you who use them. But anyways, let's now get started by talking about the SRP pedals. When it comes to the Moza Racing SRP pedals that come included with the R3 bundle, you'll immediately notice that there is no clutch. Apart from just having two pedals, the brake is also not a load cell, but a regular and far less desirable Hall effect sensor with a spring providing some but not much resistance. However, I can confidently say that looking at the competition in the entry to mid-range Xbox compatible offerings, these are actually really good. Unlike offerings by Thrustmaster and Logitech whose pedals are made almost entirely of plastic, these, similar to the Fanatec CSL, are made entirely of metal with a solid look and feel. They also can be hard mounted from underneath, and if you're using these on a carpet or a floor, sticky rubber pads are included to provide more grip. The pedal performance as is also decent for what you're paying. The throttle has a comfortable travel and is very responsive, albeit it has very little resistance. Similarly, the brake pedal does the job as intended, feels good under braking, but does lack that confidence-inspiring feel you get when you get more comfortable and used to using stiffer load cell brakes. Worth noting, however, are the subtle adjustments that you can make here. The pedals can move side to side, the pedal plates can be marginally adjusted up and down, and all of the pedals can be individually moved and swapped around, this being useful for those of you who would want to invert them. So overall, I can't really complain much here. The pedals did the job as intended, and for the price point, I honestly think they're very solid. However, the biggest positive about these pedals is actually what's not included. You see, although you only get this when purchasing the bundle, Moza does offer upgrades that bring this entry-level pedal set well into the mid-range competition. With an optional load cell brake, an optional clutch pedal, and an optional brake performance kit and other accessories, these actually do have a lot of potential for those of you who would get into this bundle and would be looking for upgrades down the road without needing to spend hundreds on a completely new pedal set. It's also worth noting that if you are using the R3 bundle exclusively on Xbox, you do need to use these pedals directly connected to the wheelbase, and as such, since you're already locked into these pedals, it's great that you can upgrade them while still maintaining that Xbox compatibility. Now, for those of you who want to know far more information regarding the performance of this pedal set with all of those added accessories, check out my full review on the Moza SRP pedals, which is linked in the video description. But overall though, again, I can't complain much about the included pedals, and on that note, let's now move on to the wheel rim, where I do have a bit more to complain about. The wheel included with the R3 bundle may seem exactly the same as the Moza ES wheel that we've seen before with the R5 bundle. However, there will be two main differences here. The first will of course be the presence of the Xbox logo, but the most immediately noticeable difference is the material that the circular rim is made of. You see, unlike the ES wheel which comes wrapped in a synthetic leather, this one here is made from a stiff, rubbery / plastic material called ISF polyurethane. Immediately, it does look and feel cheaper than its predecessor, but the on-hand grip here is okay, and it comes with the benefits of not having to worry about its maintenance as much as you would with something like an Alcantara or suede wheel. However, when you are using a more expensive wheel that you would want to take more care of though, that's where I would recommend a SimShield wheel cover, the sponsor of this segment. They neatly and easily go above your sim racing wheels, whether that be a large round rim or a small formula style wheel, and thanks to its elastic material can easily be wrapped around and tightly secured for maximum protection while looking sleek and professional when not in use. Unlike other wheel covers that look like you have dirty laundry over your wheel, SimShield can tightly wrap around the shape of your wheel, ensuring the best fit. So protect your expensive sim racing wheels today by visiting sim-shield.com. Anyways, regarding this wheel, it's actually fairly decent. 22 total customizable buttons are included along with the telemetry shift light, and overall the ergonomics are good. Although the wheel is very small at 280mm in diameter, I personally didn't find much of a problem with its size. In fact, this along with its lightweight allowed me to feel more detail from the R3 wheelbase, especially compared when using much heavier Moza wheels. However, keep in mind that although I didn't personally have a problem with the size of this wheel, that's also because I don't necessarily have large hands, and I also don't do things like drift or rally where a bigger rim is more necessary. As such, that's of course a necessary consideration for those of you who might, but in that case, Moza has thought that through as they also offer the 12-inch wheel as well as the formula style mod for this exact wheel. Now, I didn't have the time to test these out, but I will be making a 60-second review of them both on my YouTube Shorts channel and on my social media platforms, so stay on the lookout for that. But I did want to just mention this here for those of you who may be looking for a different size or wheel shape for this bundle. So overall, this wheel rim isn't much to brag about, but it does the job. The praised Moza quick release is found on the back along with the metallic paddle shifters that have a very clicky, albeit almost obnoxious sound. Conversely, all the buttons on this wheel have a feel almost identical to any Xbox controller. Again, not much to brag about, but it does the job. Now, when it comes to this wheel rim, I really only have two major complaints. One is the lack of any rotary encoders or switches, two things that are very useful for managing things like ABS and traction control. The second is the slight flex you both can see and feel when applying pressure, especially on the top and outer parts of this rim. I confirmed this flex to come from the wheel itself and not the quick release, and although I would be lying if I said I noticed it or it impacted me in game, it is still there and may be more noticeable for those of you rallying or drifting where you are putting much more constant pressure and force on this wheel at different angles. Ultimately though, that really is just me nitpicking, and this really isn't something I would be too worried about. So overall, the wheel included here, again, I believe is decent for what you're paying, and it's also great that modifications are available for it. With all of that said though, now there really is only one thing left to talk about, and that is the star of the show, the R3 wheelbase itself. Strikingly small in size, the Moza R3 wheelbase is shorter in height than a regular phone and about the same width of it. So this thing is absolutely tiny, and I think it's the smallest ever direct drive sim racing wheelbase. Despite its small size though, Moza have done an amazing job at making it look good. In fact, I think the Xbox X silhouette they managed to incorporate into the metal housing of this casing looks incredible. The rest of the metal body also looks good with several grooves and indents. Underneath, 4 hard mounting holes are included where you'll also be attaching the optional but included table clamp, something I didn't use. And interestingly, on the top of the base, 2 more mounting holes are available for what I assume is the CM digital dash display, and on the back you'll find the power button, which really should be at the front, along with all the connections for the pedals, shifters, power cord, etc. Of course, the quick release system is here, which easily connects the included rim as well as the Moza KS and CS wheels I tested it with. This system gave no flex or movement, and honestly it's as good as ever, so no complaints there. Now this wheelbase will work like any other on PC, but notably on Xbox it does have some important compatibility restraints on certain titles. Now I didn't test this base on Xbox, but if you are planning on using it exclusively on that console, make sure to carefully review the full compatibility guide Moza have illustrated on their website. Now, taking this out on track, there is tons to talk about, but first and foremost is the little amount of torque output of this base. You see, the advertised 3 to 3.9mm torque output does sound like a little, and that's because it really is, and it actually makes for a very interesting on-track feel. The best way I can put it is like having a Ferrari that is stuck in first gear, so you know that there's so much potential there, you just can't quite make the most of it. You see, on track, the direct drive characteristics of this wheelbase immediately are noticed. You feel the wheel react faster, smaller granular details pop out, and little things that belt and gear driven wheels often mute are definitely noticeable here. However, and the only bad thing is that although you can notice those effects and they feel good, I at least was not able to make them pop out and be as prominent as I would like, and so in that case, it felt like I had the detail that I wanted, but I just wanted more of it and couldn't quite get there. Goes without saying, yes, the R3 is quite good. The wheel is fast, a lot of detail is present here considering the torque restrictions, and the driving experience is very smooth. However, it does really lack that kick to it that really brings everything to life and makes the experience so much better. Also very much worth noting is that heavier steering wheels like the Moza CS in specific do mute all effects even further, as the base just isn't able to convey the details as prominently on a heavier and larger wheel. So, at the start of this video, I mentioned that the R3 isn't for everyone, and this is exactly what I'm talking about. I think that if you are a very casual sim racer who does not want to drop a lot of money on a simulator, perhaps just wants to drive on a desk while also being able to use their PC or console setup for other things, I think this is phenomenal. I also think it's great for kids, for Xbox users who want a better experience on Forza and such titles, and anyone who wants a nice sim racing experience but doesn't care much about getting the ultimate immersion and being the absolute fastest out on track, etc. However, if that's not really you, then I would highly recommend looking at slightly higher end offerings like the Moza R5, the Moza R9, and the Fanatec CSL-DD bundles, which are also offered at 5 and 8Nm, which I can't put into words how much of a difference it makes. So, in conclusion, the Moza Racing R3 Bundle is a noteworthy entry into the market, particularly for its affordability and unique features tailored for Xbox compatibility. The SRP pedals, though lacking a load cell brake, offer solid performance with a robust metal construction and the potential for future upgrades. The steering wheel, while not very premium in feel, provides adequate functionality and future customization options. And now, of course, the true highlight, the R3 wheelbase, delivers impressive direct drive characteristics in an exceptionally compact form factor. However, its limited torque output may leave some more serious sim racers wanting more. So this bundle is ideally suited for casual sim racers, younger users, and Xbox enthusiasts seeking a quality experience without breaking the bank. Me personally, I think the biggest drawback of this entire bundle is simply the fact that it's not possible to get more torque output from this wheelbase with something like a stronger but optional power supply like what Fanatec does with the CSL-DD. So at the end of the day, whether the Moza Racing R3 bundle is or is not for you, I really do think it's a great and very solid offering which delivers something the sim racing community has never seen before. A $400 Xbox compatible direct drive bundle with lots of optional accessories for future upgradability. So with all of that said, this has been my full review on the all-new Moza Racing R3 Bundle. Remember that if you are interested in purchasing, using my affiliate links helps me out at zero extra cost to you. And with all of that being said, as always, thank you all for watching, stay safe, and have a fantastic rest of your day.